Hi there, this is Kevin here from MaximizingEcommerce.com. I help people build e-commerce businesses they can be proud of. And in this video, I'm going to talk about a weird thing that happens when you go and sell in international marketplaces. And that weird thing is when you sell in Amazon's international marketplaces, you're going to find your products are probably already there. Now, is that something you should be alarmed about? Or, oh my gosh, I'm going to have hijackers? I don't even worry about it at all anymore at this point. Basically what it is, and let me take a step back. The reason I'm doing this video is someone actually reached out to me asking this question. They had just started selling in Canada, and they were noticing that their products already had someone selling it, oftentimes 2-3 times the price, which seems to be the MO, and of what happens when you sell in international marketplaces. And in this particular case, the other person was getting the buy box, or whoever this other seller. In fact, in some cases, there was multiple other sellers. So just to get into it, what happens is there's, let's just say, gray hat, maybe even black hat performers out there, that what they're doing, from my understanding, is that they are scraping listings. So let's say if you have a listing in the US, and they'll scrape your data from the listing, and they'll add that ASIN, the Amazon stock number, in other countries. So they'll just sell it. And what they're doing is they're putting it 2-3 times the price, and if someone buys it, they're going to fulfill it as FBM by buying it on, let's say, Amazon.com, and then they will ship it to Canada, to Europe, whatever. So where that causes a little bit of a challenge is you go to these other marketplaces and your stuff's already there, and you're wondering, why is that? Now, Amazon knows this is a problem. I was actually talking to an account rep the other day about this, and he's on the Amazon global selling team. So they know this is an issue. So I wouldn't let it be a cause for an alarm. So what it does is they basically are hoping that if they put out like 1 million listings, I don't even know if that's the number, but let's just say they throw out 1,000 listings, and somebody buys one every now and then because this particular product isn't available in that particular country right now. So if they buy it, then they get a big margin because the way they were structuring it. Now, Amazon refers to this as a gray listing, and again, they know it's a problem. So the way it works is there's a point system. I don't know exactly how the point system works, but there's a point system of who gets the buy box, so, and who also gets control of the listing. So if you are the brand owner, even if it's not brand registered, but let's just say it's your brand, you're the one who's selling it. The name of your brand that's not even brand registry, but if it's just, you're the one who's constantly selling it, and you have sales history in one of the marketplaces of selling this particular brand, and you're selling it at a good price, and you've got a good listing with good listing photos and good listing copy, you'll be able to get control of the listing and the buy box in the other countries. So what you'll find is if you look at your listings, just for fun, look up your brand name in India. I've done this. I'm not selling in India right now, maybe in the future, but right now I'm not. And I can find a lot of my listings in India. And the same thing that I found when I went to Italy, and I went to Spain, and I went to the UK, and I went to Canada. My listings were already there as these gray listings. And what I was finding was that oftentimes there's no bullet points, or if there's a bullet point, maybe there's 1 or 2. If I have like 3-4 paragraphs in the item description, there might be a sentence. The title is butchered. And then if it's in a foreign language marketplace, like let's say France, if it's even there at all, or if it's translated at all, it's translated horribly. Like I remember actually showing it to people and saying, hey, does this make any sense? No, you're better off using Google Translate. Was the way it was explained to me. Comparing, here's what Google Translate says my listing should be, here's what it says on there right now. So, and oftentimes, like, it might be like half a sentence, or part of it's in English, part of it's in Italian or whatever language. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. Don't look at it as like, this is a hijacker who's going to get the buy box, whatever. I mean, because one, the price is so way out of whack. You can put in a support ticket and say, hey, I have more history. I am the brand owner. Even if you're not brand registered, if you are brand registered, you can always put that in there as well. But they're going to be able to see that your account that's linked to, let's say, your US account or your UK account or whatever, because the same thing happens if you're selling in Europe. You're probably going to find it in the other 4 European marketplaces as well, if you're not already finding them there when you go there. The only adverse situation I can see that I've dealt with is Amazon has something called Translate Your Listings, where you can pay Amazon to translate the listings for you. And I believe the way they do it is they have like a machine translate it and then a native speaker check it just to make sure, okay, this is right, this is right. Oh, we need to adjust this. Because Google Translate works. I've actually used Google Translate, but I would rather have someone do it. And I've found one of the hardest problems is finding someone who's reputable to translate in another country, because if I don't speak the language, I can't really check their work. So I'd have to have someone else I know who is reputable, that I know who speaks that language. Living in Florida, I know lots of people who are Spanish speakers, and they've been able to chime in and say, oh yeah, that's great, or oh, not so much. But with like other languages, I haven't had that ability. So that's, I'd say, the only downside of gray listings is that it prevents you from being able to use the Translate Your Listing service. And the reason for that is Translate Your Listings only works, and I've tried to get exceptions made to this, and I haven't. But Translate Your Listing service only works if it's a new listing. So that means if Amazon already has a listing, even if it was someone who shouldn't have been on there, and your listing's translated into the correct language, and you're the brand owner and all this, they'll give you the buy box, they'll give you control of the listing, but they won't do the Translate Your Listing service for you. So you'd have to go out and get your own translation. So that's the only adverse situation I've had. If you've had something similar to this, please leave a comment down below. And if you've had the same experience as me, where you just, if you're not already getting the buy box right away, that you put in a support ticket and they fixed it. And that's the way it was explained to me by the global selling rep. And he's been a good source of information. So hopefully you found this video to be helpful. So if you do run into that situation and you're selling globally and you're finding these gray listings that already have your brand name, don't worry about it. It's not going to be an issue. You're going to dominate the buy box just by the sheer fact that you're the brand owner. You've got history on the brand. You've got a better, more competitive price, most likely. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. So again, hopefully you found this video to be helpful. So if you can click the little thumbs up icon, I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. And if you know of someone that could use this message, please share. I lost my train of thought there. But anyway, thank you very much. And I wish you the best in your e-commerce journey. Take care. Bye-bye.